Hi, I wanted to talk to you today about my Osteoporosis Activity Guide. It's free and there's a link provided below. I want to show you a little bit about some of the activities or exercises that are in the guide. But first I'll talk to you about the fact that in the guide I do tell you that there are 4 main things that we need to take a look at when we're working with low bone density or trying to prevent it. Posture, which I call alignment, balance, strength, and cardio. In the activity guide, I focus on the balance and alignment portion, or balance and posture portion. So let's talk about what I do show there. The very first and most important thing, in my opinion, is everything starts not only with your breath, which if you know me, you know that I go there. The next thing is your alignment. So that's what we work on in the book, and there are lots of pictures to show you how to do this. I do it with the yoga strap in the book, so there's a metal ring at the bottom, and that helps give it some weight. So the reason we have a knot is just to give it some weight. Then what I'm doing is I'm looking for the side of my leg, the center of the side of my leg. The way we get there is you sort of figure out where your pelvis is, and then there's kind of a soft spot here, and I start to go down until I feel the hard spot, and I found it, and you can tell that like it gets soft over here, so that's not it. My thigh bone is more here. So that's the side of my thigh bone, and I'm going to let this strap drop. And you can see that the way I'm standing right now, it's pretty good. It's pretty much my hips lined over the center of my ankle bone. It might be a teeny bit forward. It might have been at one point. It was maybe moving around a bit. We're not the same every day, so some days may be better than others. And I've got it wiggling now, but that's about right. But I promise you that's not where I started. I started here about 6 years ago. The reason? We all have habits. We like to stand this way. Here's a funny one. I'm 5 feet tall. I'm going to hold on to the wall and show you that's me in high heels, or anybody in high heels. That's what we do. Now we've created a change in our spine, and you can't see it because I'm up on high heels. The second I come down from my high heels, if I do not move my spine at all, so I was very careful not to move my spine, you can see that there's a bigger curve back here and my hips are thrust forward. That's what you have to do to have an erect look when you're in high heels. So we've changed our posture by wearing high heels a lot, and I'm certainly, in my past, that was something I did. So if we drop the line, look what I was doing, all the weight in my toes. It's not a wonder that I developed bunions. Also the teeny little Manolo Blahnik shoes, that was a problem too. Thank God I'm out of them, and I'm here to share with you how you can get your hips over your ankles. It just takes time. And one of the things I talk to people about is a thing called backing your hips up. Makes a lot of sense. You are standing in a grocery store and you discover yourself here and you just back your hips up. Sometimes that means your torso is going to come forward because maybe your glute muscles aren't strong enough yet. That's okay. You're just practicing. You find yourself at the kitchen sink with your hips forward. Back your hips up. You'll start feeling your glutes turn on, and that's what we want. Your hamstrings and your glutes, more weight in your heels. You'll have fun with it. It's sort of an everyday thing that you sprinkle in throughout your life. You don't have to be always saying, well, this is an exercise and I'm going to get the strap and try to do that. And certainly don't try in the beginning to do it while you're walking. Forget about those things when you're walking and enjoy. Number 2, I bet you saw me doing my consistency and commitment challenge in December, and that had me walking right here on a dowel. That is under the category of walking on uneven surfaces, because generally speaking, we don't trip and fall when we're on a nice smooth sidewalk. It's usually what we call a perturbation, something that gets in your way or is unexpected. So a dowel is certainly unexpected and difficult. we can go to a pillow. Now these pillows are pretty puffy and sinkable, so it's going to be a little difficult. You could start with a thinner pillow without as much depth to them, and then it'll start out a little easier. Some people like to start walking on the pillow, looking at where their feet are going. I started to turn before I got to the end. That was funny. I don't particularly like that because the natural way of walking that I'm going to encourage you to do is look straight in front of you. So see about finding a natural pattern. See if you can do it, maybe, maybe not, and just play with walking on pillows. It's actually kind of fun. So that's your uneven surface challenge. Another thing that I focus on is the upper body. We don't just work on the lower body, although there's a lot there. And I'd like to show you the rhomboid push-up because that, out of the 9, that's my favorite starter place for the upper body. Even before things that are extension, spinal extension, it's so important. But if we don't have mobility in our shoulder blades, we can't have control. And I believe that the place to start is finding out about your shoulder blade movement and the pattern of tension that might possibly be in the back of your body. So I hold a block just because the visual is really helpful for that mind-body connection. My eyes can see the block, and I can know that without moving my elbows or changing my elbows or wrists, I can use the muscles around my shoulder blades to bring the block further away and closer to me. And I'm going to show you from the back so you can see that I'm got a little tip, and that is that you put your mind's eye in the bottom of your shoulder blades. That allows you to do this work without doing this. So if I'm pinching the tops of my shoulder blades, I've got a lot of neck and shoulder tension that I'm actually adding to the picture. What I want to do is find some mobility, and doing that sometimes is pretty hard. Well, that is the best place to start, even with your arms just out with your palms facing each other. So those are my 3 ideas that I wanted to share with you from my activity guide. It is free. You can sign up below. It's a really pretty PDF, and it even has a calendar at the end that gives you some ideas about how to get in your balance and posture along with your strength training and your aerobic activity. So give it a look, and if you have any questions, feel free to make your questions in the comments or send me a private message.